So Kamala Harris came out from hiding, and she actually did an interview with CNN. It's Dana Bash, and I got to admit, Dana pressed her on some questions that we had. You know who we are, right? Yeah, we, not them. And Kamala Harris looked drunk, if you ask me. She looked like she had been drinking a lot the night before. It really does look that way. I have drank alcohol before. I don't drink anymore. I certainly know what it looks like when you have a hangover. So, I mean, I'm just saying, I could be wrong. That's just my opinion. I do think that Kamala Harris has been partying a lot. She hasn't been getting any sleep. And she's stressed out. She is stressed out. I can tell you that right now. I'm a father of 3 boys, 2 girls, and she looks stressed out, like she is taking a beating, right? And she is. All right, and then she doesn't have any answers. She doesn't feel bad for anything that she's done. She's not remorseful like a human being should after damaging the economy so badly and having Americans suffer at her and Joe Biden's hands. So I want to get into the CNN panel here, and I want to react to some of the things that they're saying. And I want to point out a couple of things that maybe some people know, maybe they don't know. But for my audience, I want to just give my take on what the world they're telling everybody else, because normally we disagree. All right, so let me just go ahead and jump right into it.
In 2019, I believe, in a town hall, you said you were asked, would you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking on your first day in office? And you said, there's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. So, yeah.
Okay. Let's stop right there. Let's slow down, because I know that these people talk fast. This interview was very short. I want to stop right there. Give me your attention here for just a second. For those who might not understand what fracking is, I went on for a long period of my life where I had no idea what fracking was. Okay, I heard the term a lot. It's one to remember. Without fracking, if we don't frack, extracting oil from rock, from ground, we don't have energy independence. We need oil for lots of things. Oil is a good thing. It is God-given. We need oil. Okay, if we extract natural gas from the oil that they're fracking, we can have energy independence. Now, you hear Trump talk about this all the time. He wants to drill, baby, drill. He wants to frack. He wants to extract our oil from the ground, which we can use for many things. And we have a lot of it here in the United States, more than any other country, apparently. All right. So that's the process of fracking. And it's very important for us. It is one of our natural resources that God gave us that we should be using to become energy independent, amongst other things. Get the gas prices down. When you lower the gas costs, we can really talk about making the cost of everything a lot better. So this has a direct effect on the economy. I just want to make that very clear for people who may not understand what fracking actually is. Super important. Okay, just want to stress that. So Kamala Harris is flip-flop back and forth on whether she's going to frack or not. She's totally against it because of the climate change agenda. Okay. And a lot of us don't really care about that. To be totally honest with you, we don't care about the climate change. Okay, the climate's going to do whatever we're going to do. We need natural gas. We need costs down. We need to be able to afford things. So fracking's very important. You want to always frack. You want to always drill for oil because we have that as a natural resource again.
Yes. So it changed in that campaign?
In 2020, I made very clear where I stand. We are in 2024, and I've not changed that position, nor will I going forward. I kept my word, and I will keep my word.
What made you change that position at the time?
Well,
I can answer that for you because she knows that the voters, especially in Pennsylvania, they're not going to tolerate no fracking. They make a lot of money fracking in Pennsylvania. All right. We all make a lot of money fracking in Pennsylvania. We're getting our oil from Venezuela, and it's not good. It's not that good at all. All right. We don't need to do that. We don't need to import oil from somewhere else when we have it here in our country. But these people are so stuck on the climate change and the Green New Deal that they want to waste a lot of our money. All right. There's a lot of specifics about fracking that I think that people really don't understand. This term is thrown around so much. And the average voter just really probably doesn't understand any of that. All right, I'm not saying that anyone's ignorant. I'm not calling you guys ignorant. I'm just saying that these things that just need to be broken down so people can actually, you're new to politics, you're new to all this stuff. There's a lot of those people out there who just don't know, simply. All right, so these politicians and these people running for office need to break it down, break it way down, okay, so people can digest a little bit at a time and they understand why they like fracking. They understand why they love this policies, why you want. It should be very obvious that closed borders is a good idea, but you need to, I always paint a picture for my kids. This was what it could be like. Let's paint a picture. Let me talk to you about how it could actually look really bad for you if you don't do this or if you're doing this. So painting a picture for your voter is going to be extremely, extremely important for this election. Break it down into small bites. Explain what fracking is. You have to do it.
Let's be clear. My values have not changed. What I have seen is that we can grow and we can increase a thriving clean energy economy without banning fracking.
Just one other question about something that you
We already knew that. She should have been up to date on that, but she's flip-flopping.
said in 2019, when you first ran, there was a debate. You raised your hand when asked whether or not the border should be decriminalized. Do you still believe that?
I believe there should be consequence. We have laws that have to be followed and enforced that address and deal with people who cross our border illegally, and there should be consequence.
Generally speaking,
how come that's not happening right now? How come the Biden-Harris administration doesn't seem to believe what she just said? Guys, I did a video yesterday showing you guys what's happening with illegal immigrants coming from Venezuela, how they're tearing through our country. They are doing lots of awful things to American citizens. And these are all under the Biden-Harris administration policies. This is why it's been happening. Okay. So she can't tell us that she believes in law and order when it comes to the border, because she doesn't. If she did, she's been in office for almost 4 years and nothing's changed. It's actually gotten worse. I don't understand why people don't get that the border is wide open. All you got to do is type in Venezuela migrants in the search bar at YouTube and take a look.
How should voters look at some of the changes that you've made, that you've explained some of here in your policy? Is it because you have more experience now and you've learned more about the information? Is it because you were running for president in a Democratic primary? And should they feel comfortable and confident that what you're saying now is going to be your policy moving forward?
Dana, I think the most important and most significant aspect of my policy perspective and decisions is my values have not changed.
I want to get in the room here to get some initial reactions with our great panel. David Axelrod, let's start with you. What did you make of how Vice President Harris did she meet the moment?
Yeah, I think she did what she needed to do. What she needed to do was be the same person that people have seen on the stage for the last month and have seen a new sense of sort of confidence, of calm. And
Why does she need to be the person that people saw on stage? Why can't she just be herself? Why can't she just tell the truth about her policy positions? Why does she have to change them? Why is she saying that she changed them? And she hasn't, clearly. People just want the truth. They want honesty, okay? Kamala Harris is very dishonest, okay, about her policy positions. I think she's very dishonest about a lot of things. And again, I do believe that she's a drunk, really.
Comfortable comfort that we haven't seen before from her. We didn't see certainly the last time she ran. She was very connected to her word. She seemed strong. She seemed competent. She seemed like someone who could be president of the United States. That was the first test. One thing, because I know we got a lot of opinions here.
We have time for yours, don't worry.
But, I think well, two things then. I think that she handled the issue of her changes or perceived changes in policy pretty well. I mean, I think the idea that her values have been the same and have been consistent.
In other words, he's buying the lies. I don't think that she handled it pretty well. I don't think that she handled it pretty well. All right. I think that she's lying to our faces. I think that she can't be trusted because of what she's done the last 4 years in office. That's where I stand. I don't know what he's talking about. Maybe he just has a very low testosterone. I believe so, but I don't know what he was watching or where he's been. But yeah. Was a good bridge there. One thing that I want to note is we were asking the question earlier, how will she handle the president, and will she separate herself from the president? And there might be some political logic to doing that. She's talking about turning the page. Does she want to be a continuation? That's what the Republicans will want to make her out to be. I'll give Scott the opportunity to do it in a second. But as she spoke, I thought it showed a certain character, the way she talked about Joe Biden. She didn't run away from. Guys, look, don't get caught up in character, okay? This is nonsense. We are in huge trouble. Our country's in really big trouble right now because of these two incapacitated morons that we have running our country, supposedly. Joe Biden's on the beach. Kamala Harris is hungover, and she hasn't done an interview until yesterday. Since she's been running. Joe Biden has completely disappeared. We have no president right now. Our country's been pretty much running itself, and it's running into the ground. So, I don't believe anything these people say. I almost can't even watch this or finish the video because I just want to fast forward it.
From him. She gave him, I think, his due. She understands that there's some political risk to that. That actually was elevating to me in a way that I hadn't expected. So I think on the whole, this was a good night. It wasn't a huge, I don't think she moved the ball that much forward, but she certainly didn't fall back.
The do no harm principle of politicking here.
Yeah,
Audie?
I mean, interviews, they can be combat, they can be a conversation. And what she needed to do was communicate. And so often in the past, she comes to an interview in a way prepared to be the interrogator. And people already know she's good at asking sharp, tough questions of people who she feels deserve scrutiny. It's her being under that scrutiny that has been where the stakes have been higher. And I think today it did show that she has the ability to sit down and have that back and forth that Republicans are talking about. Can she really do it? So how many more times? I don't know how much that matters.
Republicans shouldn't be the only ones talking about if she could sit down and have a conversation. Everyone should be talking about that because she completely disappeared, and she's saying that she's talking to voters. Which voters are Kamala Harris talking to? Because the Republicans or the conservatives, we're talking to everyone. We're talking to everyone because we want to know when the cost of everything is going to come down. We want to know when the interest rates are going to come down. We want to know when gas prices are going to come down, when grocery prices are going to come down. We're talking to everybody here. We're not willing to put somebody in office because they're black or because they're Asian, because they're Indian. We're not willing to do any of that. We're not willing to put anybody in office that just wants to go in because we feel like they are the right person. We want to see what you have done. We're looking at what you've done in the past 4 years and saying this is absolute garbage. Okay? It's absolute garbage.
And I do get a little nervous that in the media we're preoccupied with like how much access, how many conversations is she going to have in the settings we deem most valuable to voters, when this is a campaign that is actually making a mark in an interesting way, reaching out to people directly.
But Asad, you have also spent a couple of times now interviewing her. What did you make of how she handled it? I mean, to David's point, a little bit more comfortable now than she has been in the past.
Yeah, I think there's been a consistent story of growth. She's been in more of these settings. I think we saw that somewhat tonight. I also think to the question about how policy positions have changed, they were clearly ready with an answer about how the values have been.
This guy has low testosterone, okay? I'm just tired of seeing men with low testosterone. I really am. All right? Get some testo fuel. Get some ashwagandha. Go get some Tongkat Ali. Give these guys some solutions, some vitamin D3. Take this stuff every day. Zinc every day. Magnesium. You guys need this stuff. You shouldn't sound like this, okay? It should sound like we can't afford things, okay? That's what it should sound like. You're making it difficult for me to feed my family, and it's getting out of control.
Consistent for me, and one of the lines that stuck out was, "This is a new. I think people are ready for a new way forward." She said that a couple times. It goes to David's point. I don't think there's a policy separation that they've created with Biden. Obviously, she gave a kind of personal defense of him, but they're also very clearly trying to position her as a change candidate in the same way that Donald Trump is positioning himself as a change candidate. In some ways, it feels as if that's going to be the crux of what this comes down to in November, is whether that is bought by the electorate or not.
And interestingly, there is some polling to suggest that it's a battle right now. It's actually a live ball.
It seems that that's where this might live and die, but I think it's really interesting because
these people are gaslighting the living daylights out of everyone, okay? That's what they're doing. Kamala Harris is getting smoked, okay? She's getting smoked in the real polls. All right, nobody believes any of that. Donald Trump underperforms in polls. Everybody should know that. Rasmussen put out really good polls all of the time, but not these fake polls that are in these mainstream media. We don't watch any of those. We don't look at any of that. We're just ready for these people to get out of our way so we can enjoy our lives again. Okay, all this nonsense and this gaslighting about these mainstream liberal media outlets, they don't matter.
For someone who doesn't want to talk about race and gender, who doesn't want to kind of put that identity forward, it is allowing her to make the case of change without kind of saying those words. And so I thought that was really in the air of this speech. But to the point about normal versus weird, the future versus past dichotomy that they're trying to create, I think they landed that tonight. I think they want to present them as a package that is relatable to people, and that is someone you feel familiar, whose story is familiar, whose message is familiar and relatable. And I think that's something that she's grown in, and we saw that this evening.
Interesting. Ashley?
So I think I would break this down into 3 parts: values, vision, and her voice. And I think she made it very clear that she is still committed to her values, to be an American, to be a prosecutor, even though she may have changed on some positions. And she clearly outlined.
Kamala Harris is not a prosecutor, okay? A prosecutor will close the borders. That's what a real prosecutor would actually do. A real prosecutor, somebody that's law and order, would never allow illegal immigrants to flood your country by the millions. They would never allow that, okay? A real prosecutor would prosecute crimes, no matter what the crime is. It is a crime to come across our borders illegally, okay? And that's what's happening. That's a big part of why the inflation is happening. That's a big part of why your food costs has gone up. This is going to be even worse if Kamala Harris stays in office, because she has not changed course. All right, she makes it very clear. If she was going to do something totally different from what Joe Biden has been doing, she would clearly state that, but she can't. Okay, she can't. The global elites will not allow her to do that because she has to do what they tell her to do, and open borders is a part of what they want.
Outline where she had changed. I think on the vision, she attempted to draw the contrast without talking about Donald Trump, but still being very clear and not berating her current boss, actually. And when you think about the opposite ticket of J.D. Vance, where Donald Trump's vice president isn't even on.
She doesn't have to berate her current boss. She lied about his condition. All right. We all know that Joe Biden, we all knew on the conservative side, we all knew, but you all knew as well, but you pretended like you didn't know that Joe Biden was halfway dead. OK, and we can see that he's retired now on the beach. All right, because he's tired. OK, he's retired. OK, Joe Biden was doing awful and Kamala Harris knew it, and she lied. She lied the entire time and said Joe Biden was, he's doing great. He's strong. He's alive, but only he's not, okay?
On the ticket anymore. We don't need to go down why that is the case, but she was clearly able to draw her vision for how she wants to take the country forward with her opportunity economy, and then her voice. I think so many Americans want to know, who is she and does she have command of her voice? And
how is she going to create the opportunity economy? That's the number one question here. I'm glad she said that, because there has to be a way forward to do that, right? That's what she's saying. Let's go a way forward. What's the way forward? Okay, now with Donald Trump, it's very clear. We're going to drill oil. Bingo. That's a lot of money. All right, that's a lot of energy independence right there. First of all, drilling oil. He's made it very clear that he's going to do that. She would never say that because she can't do that. Her base would drop like flies. They don't want her to drill oil. Her base doesn't want to do that. All right, her base thinks that climate change is affected by drilling oil, which we don't care about because climate change, in my opinion, is a total hoax. All right, it's not real. Also, Donald Trump wants to close the border. Those two right there, those two, closing the border and fracking, will get this economy back on track. Those are two things that Kamala Harris has stood against over many years. Okay? She doesn't want to criminalize illegal migrants. They didn't even want to call them illegal migrants. Okay? They didn't want to call them illegal immigrants. They're seeking asylum. No, they're not. They're breaking the law. That's what they've been doing. Okay? So she doesn't have a clear way forward. It didn't look like that to me. I didn't hear any great policies on how she was going to get there. You know why? Because you're going to pay for it, guys. Hello? Your taxes, okay, are going to pay for Kamala Harris's way forward. All right? So in essence, it's actually a way backward because she's going to tell grocery stores that they can't charge you a certain amount of money. Okay, when they have like a 1% profit margin. Okay, the lowest profit margin of probably any business on planet Earth. But she's telling you that she can go in and control price gouging. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Good luck with keeping loaves of bread on your shelves. Good luck with supply chains. Good luck with trying to regulate supermarkets. That's not going to work. And taxing people into oblivion. That's a recipe for disaster. It's been going on already. That's exactly what they've been trying to do. And it's never going to work. It never worked before. It's called communism.
And she answered every question. Now, you might not like the way she answered them, but she answered them as a capable, qualified leader. And I do think she moved the ball forward a little bit. You know, maybe she didn't score a touchdown tonight, but she definitely moved down the field.
All right, Scott.
Here we go.
I agree with Ested about this idea of the question of who's going to change will be the fundamental defining question of the election. And I was sort of watching this, you know, holistically. What is she saying? What does she look like? What's on the screen? So at the beginning, when she's talking about Biden and their record, our screen said, this is called the Chiron, the headline at the bottom. It said, Harris stands by Biden administration economic record. She is making it clear that she will embrace and be a continuation of Biden's economic policy, his record, what they've done. She offered no remorse, no regrets, no introspection about anything they've done. She continued to blame inflation on this fantasy price gouging idea. She had no additional thoughts on the economic situation in the country or what they've done beyond just saying, Joe Biden and I have done a great job. Now,
does that make sense? I like Scott. Because Scott's telling the truth. I don't care what color his skin is. I don't care. Skin color never matters to me, just so you're clear. All right, I don't care about any of that. I literally don't. I want someone to tell me the truth about what's going on and why everything's so expensive and why is gas gone up? Why are people not calling businesses like they were before when Donald Trump was in office? I want you to tell me the truth about what's going on here because this other identity politics stuff is a bunch of bullcrap and everybody knows it.
if I were the Trump people, I would be salivating over the idea that that's how they are going to run the race. I don't believe it's tenable. I also thought it was interesting that she didn't take any responsibility at the end for telling the American people that Joe Biden was fine and he was strong.
Exactly.
I mean, we all know that's not true. That's why he's out of the race, and she's still standing by the idea that he was fine and he's strong and that he's fine today.
Yep.
Nobody believes that. And
no one.
I just think at some point, then why isn't he running?
Because he's too old. Point blank. Same reason why Donald Trump probably shouldn't be running, because he's too old and out of touch.
I think
that's not true, okay? I'm sorry, but this woman here is just so smug, man. she don't like white people. Okay, you can tell. She's got a problem with the white man. All right, she don't like the white man. You see the look in her eyes right there. I know this look very well. I got a lot of black family members. Okay, in East Baltimore. Okay, they don't like white people for some reason, but that's the look they give you right there. Okay, the white man is the problem. No, he's not. He's actually been trying. This white guy right here, if he were black, white, or Asian, what he's saying is actually true. He would actually be trying to solve the problem and make you wake up to what's going on, not try to vote for somebody or put somebody in office because they look like you. That's when you get in trouble.
Most Americans know the truth, and when you're running to be president and you're willing to look them in the face and tell them something they know that you know is not true, it does speak a little bit to your character.
Scott.
So hit me with the real issues. I want to know how to get this economy cooking, because if Donald Trump showed us that it can be and it can happen, and you know, maybe they should have never let Donald Trump come along to show us what we could actually have and what it could actually be like in a thriving economy. Now people want that back. And we're not willing to let anybody stand in our way and take it away from us. I want real estate agents to do well. I want investors to do well. I want gas companies to do well. I want all small businesses to do well. Okay, cleaning companies. I don't care what you are, a plumber, a locksmith. I don't care what you are. I want you all to do well. All right, under Trump's policies, that can be. We need energy independence. That's the first thing. Okay, we need lower taxes on big companies. They always tout that Donald Trump wants to lower costs on billionaires and his rich buddies. Yeah, that's a good idea, actually, because when they have the money to lower taxes, they'll bring more jobs here. More jobs makes the economy grow, and so on and so on. It's a trickle-down effect, literally. Okay, but what the government and Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have been doing is stealing your tax dollars and sending them to the Ukraine. Okay, causing your food costs to go up, putting us into endless wars here. That costs a lot of money. People are paying for this stuff and they don't understand why. They're walking around on the streets complaining about what's going on, saying that's just the way it is. And it's just not the way it is. It's not the way it's supposed to be, rather. Well, we need to put the right people with the right kind of vision in office and not somebody that's drunk and hungover. Guys, thank you for joining me. This has been Yup, I Said It. Hope you enjoyed the show. Until next time, I love you.